Good morning. We are back, people. Welcome to the We are back, people. Welcome to the Game Week 31 preview. I'm Joe. Alongside me this morning are Roz and Mus. Roz, how you doing?
Good, mate. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been like a whole week. A week. Like 7 days.
Like the Craig David song. Yeah, so talk me through your week then, Roz. What did you do on Monday? Did you meet someone? You met someone on Monday. Took him for a drink on Tuesday.
I can't remember yesterday, mate.
It's a family show. Let's not go any further.
I remember what I did this morning. So, not happening.
Yeah. Okay, and also joining me, it's EPL's pun machine. I hope you've got some lovely puns for us, Mus. How you doing?
Good morning, Joe. Morning, Weeple. Yeah, I've got plenty of puns. I'm disappointed I didn't get a call up for the Easter show. I had a ton of Jesus on the Mendy puns for you. But I'll try and make up for it today.
Nice one. I'm disappointed you didn't say disappointed instead of disappointed, but you never know. Right, okay. So here's how it's going to work today. Because Easter was a bit messed up for us, we didn't get a chance to do our proper episode last week. So before we look at this week's fixtures, as we usually do on Game Week Preview, we're going to have a quick roundup of last week's fixtures as we review the predictions that Roz and I made. We'll quickly go and have a little chat about those games. Okay, so first up last week was Chelsea West Brom. Where do we start here, lads?
What did I say? Easy Chelsea win. Tuchel domination. I think I also said that they're probably regretting getting Big Sam in because they've lost all their kind of goals and attacking flair, even if they have kind of shored up at the back a bit. 5-2, yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, so Roz predicted 3-0 Chelsea and I predicted 2-0 Chelsea. I said Werner would be man of the match. Roz said Mason Mount would be man of the match. So effectively, we both got 0 points there. So Roz, stop it. We had this argument last week, Roz. It's a man of the match shout.
I can't wait until the City game. I'm going to catch you out in the City game because I think I said Kevin De Bruyne and you're going to say, oh, I didn't get the goal or an assist, but he's definitely man of the match and you'll probably try and claim points elsewhere.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Mus, what do you reckon then? What did you make of that Chelsea West Brom last week?
Well, firstly, more for you guys for going with the Chelsea win because there are 4 certainties in life: death, taxes, and Sam Allardyce out-tacticking a fancy Dan Chelsea manager at Stamford Bridge. And the 4th one, of course, is Callum Robinson scoring a Premier League goal against Chelsea. So all of those odds, it was written in the stars. I thought West Brom were great, and I think Sam Allardyce managed the game well. I think the Ivanovic injury was a bit of a turning point because it was after I think if I remember correctly, it was after the red card, and he decided to go for it and brought on an attacking change. I think Callum Robinson came on for Ivanovic, and they were well deserving of the win. And let's see if it continues this game week.
I have to say that the quality of the finishing was absolutely disgusting. Like, just the quality of the finishes. I mean, this is a side that haven't really been able to score all season, and they've got players that can finish like that.
It's a funny one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think they spent that whole international break just practicing shooting? Do you think Big Sam took him to his farmyard retreat with a barn door and said, "Right, lads, hit that"?
We're going to start with that, try and hit a barn door, and then we'll move up.
It's going to be a banjo. Finally, football.
But you know what? It wasn't even just the finishing. I think the all-round play and the build-up to those goals was terrific. The Anya goal, the Callum Robinson volley, really great build-up, movement in midfield, and getting men forward. Yeah, Thomas Tuchel went from 2-4 to 2-5.
Hey.
Good old Tommy Tuchel.
There's a Chelsea podcast that I saw, and it was what's his name, Roy Jenkins. I don't know if you know him. He's pretty good podcast, but he was saying he couldn't. They've conceded 5, and he couldn't really complain about many of the goals. He could complain about the team selection, the fact that the likes of Rudiger and Mount were clearly being saved for that more important midweek game against Porto. Arguably, that worked out for them. But the actual quality of the goals that they were conceding, really hard to complain about.
Yeah, apart from the first one.
Much wrong in that sense.
And if you glance over my shoulder now, you might see some of those goals happening. But anyway, that's probably infringing a lot of copyright law. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll go to the next game. Okay. So I've lost me tabs. I was too excited about the game behind me corresponding with what we were talking about. Outrageous. Okay, the next game up was Leeds Sheffield United. Roz's prediction for this one was 11-0 to Sheffield United, and mine was 3-0 to Leeds. Roz said man of the match would be McGoldrick. Unlucky there, Roz. After you made that ridiculous prediction, you could have then redeemed yourself by choosing a more realistic man of the match, but you didn't. I said 3-0 Leeds, Bamford man of the match. I got a point because Leeds won. Fair?
Yeah.
Anything you guys wanted to point out on this one? Nothing to report. Bamford didn't really do much. He had a 2-week break. Didn't turn up. Is he checked out for the season? Is he like, I'm not in the England squad? Done. There goes my motivation.
That's it, mate. So, these players with silver spoons in their mouth, you can't.
Here we go again. Okay. Then we had Leicester Man City. This is the one where you're going to catch me out, Roz. Remember? Just reminding you. Okay. Leicester Man City. You said 2-1 to Man City. Kevin De Bruyne man of the match. I said 2-1 to Man City. Mahrez man of the match.
Yeah. So I'm claiming 2 points here. You can have.
You're claiming 2 points. Let me just double check something on the official Premier League website.
This might be able to help me out here. It was, I think it was the Jesus goal. It was the ball over the top to, I think, Sterling, and then he passed it. Or was it to Jesus, then he passed it to Sterling, then he passed it?
It was that ball on the deck that took out for
It just absolutely took out the back line. Was it the assist of the assist? I know we talk about the assist of the assist.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think Jesus played it to Sterling, and then Sterling rolled it back.
Yeah, sure. And, you wouldn't get any points for that in fantasy football, but what a pass that was. I mean, I thought he was hands down man of the match for me.
Well, the official Budweiser King of the Match, according to the Premier League website, who was it?
Jamie Vardy.
Nope. Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. That was that was great. That was sarcasm. Sorry, Rod, you can tell I haven't seen you for a week.
I don't know. I hope it's not Sterling or Jesus. I don't think they were particularly brilliant.
No.
Apart from
Mus, quick guess.
Cancelo.
You're wrong. You're all going to be wrong. You can guess a million times. You're going to get it wrong. It's Ruben Dias, man of the match.
Yeah.
So, officially, Roz, that's only 1 point.
Okay, who are we going for then? Should we do that then? So, always the Budweiser official king of the match.
Well, unless we have a good reason to disagree. Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Should I get 2 points for that or one?
One each. Don't worry, you're probably still going to win. Arsenal, Liverpool. You said 1-1, Diogo Jota. I said 3-2 to Arsenal, Martin Odegaard. You got the point here for you got Jota got man of the match, so you got the point for Jota. But perhaps out of sheer friendliness towards me, you thought it would be a draw. Clearly, the teams were extremely mismatched, and Liverpool ran out 3-0 winners. Diogo Jota scoring 2 and picking up the official man of the match.
Can we really quickly? I know we're sort of trying to speed through these ones to get on to the next games, but I'd be interested to ask two Arsenal fans about Gary Neville's comments after the game about the little mafia, how it looked like Arsenal players were just not really playing for Arteta, and secondly, Paul Merson's comments that Granit Xhaka is actually a key cog in that Arsenal machine, and the fact that they were always passing it back to the goalkeeper and didn't really want to get on the ball or actually do anything incisive. And he was saying actually Granit Xhaka, by not playing, became a better player because you saw what Arsenal were missing. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Just 2 quick points. I'm not sure I buy into the whole the players aren't playing for the manager, because a lot of the times it seems like they're actually almost overplaying and trying to perfect whatever Arteta wants of them. So I've lost count of the number of times they've conceded by trying to play out from the back, and that was the case in the
Third goal, wasn't it?
yeah, you're right. Yeah, the third goal, the Jota second goal.
Jota second, yeah.
Yeah, and then also the Aubameyang playing on the left and Partey just like pinging it out to him every time he got the ball. That was clearly like that had come from the manager and wasn't particularly effective. And then the other thing is like, yeah, you often get this where like if Xhaka is missing or David Luiz is missing, people realise how important they are. But actually, often they play and they make mistakes and people criticise them. So, to be honest, I think even they are probably not good enough, but they are better than the alternatives.
Yeah, it's a case of not being able to have one's cake and eat it, I think the phrase is. But yeah, I don't know. I think Arteta's tactics are extremely demanding on the players as a group, and the amount of games that Arsenal have, considering that squad, and the fact that we've had to rely on youngsters to turn out, week in, week out. I think we're actually starting to see signs of fatigue from Arsenal, and these sort of late lapses in concentration late in the game, like in Europe in midweek, the letting in the late goal. And it's just
Premier League show, Joe. It's Premier League show. So you do that to me every week, so I just thought I'd
I at least let you get your point across and then tell you it's a Premier League show. Now I've lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh.
Late lapse concentration, conceding a goal against Slavia Prague, which after missing out umpteen chances, by the way. I mean,
exactly. And bringing it back to the Premier League, because it's a Premier League show, as you so pleasantly reminded me, Roz. Thank you so much, because I forgot. That we are up against Sheffield United this week. Sheffield United, who have a point to prove. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not totally optimistic about that one, but we'll get on to those predictions later. And if you're watching, by the way, this is EPLW. Thanks for joining us. English Premier League Weekly. We take a look at everything Premier League. We're just going through last week's results, and then we're going to move on to our predictions for next week. If you've got any predictions or any comments or anything you want to join the conversation, get in the comments, give us a shout. You can follow us on Twitter as well at EPLW Pod. Roz, are you happy with the comments we have made re Arsenal?
Yeah, I thought they were both talking about their arse, to be honest. So I'm glad you both pretty much disagreed. Paul Merson sort of talking about Xhaka as if he's. If I was Arsenal manager, the first thing I'd do tomorrow would be sell Granit Xhaka. Second thing I'd do would be sell David Luiz. Third thing I'd do would be sell Willian. And fourth thing I'd do would be get big money for Aubameyang and rebuild. But hey, that's just me.
I would not disagree with that, really, if I'm honest.
You got my back, Joe. You could be assistant manager.
I've got you. Yes. Right, okay, let's move on. Next. Easily confused. Southampton Burnley. Roz, you said 1-1 Wood. I said 1-1 Ings. We both got a point each there. I mean, Ings was man of the match, but I'll give you Wood because he got a goal and an assist.
Steady on Joseph family show, yeah.
Roz, I'll give you Wood if you want. If you give me Ings, I'll give you Wood.
It's a good opinion. Bad. No, I'll take Wood. I'll happily take Wood. What other?
Okay, you have Wood. Let's just leave it there. You've got Wood. Okay, let's just leave it there. It's fine.
No, what I was going to say was also what we said about this game. Well, I think when you asked me about it, I said we've spoken about this long enough. No one's going to watch it. It's going to be really dull. Can we just move on to the next game? 1-1. Let's move on. It's probably one of the better games of the week. 3-2.
It was a fantastic game, wasn't it? Yeah, we hardly talked about it. It was a great game, and Southampton kind of hanging in there. I don't think many people were expecting them to win that one. They went into that game on equal points, 33 points, sort of hovering in the danger zone. And now Southampton suddenly those 3 points make them look a bit more safe, don't they? They're on 36 points now. Burnley still on 33. Fulham in 18th on 26, but they've all got a game in hand on Fulham. So I think Southampton are safe. which means Ralphie Hasenhuttl has done his job. Correct?
I mean, this is league topping Southampton earlier in the season.
Yeah, stop the count.
Southampton, who I earlier in the season said man for man, had an all-round squad, perhaps better than Leicester when they won the title. You know, they don't have an N'Golo Kante or a Riyad Mahrez, but they certainly got some quality players.
I do wish we had that on camera, you saying that, but
yeah. Scotland's new favourite son, Shay Adams, but he started midweek anyway. But yeah, good game.
Yes, good game. And let's move on, shall we, to the next one. We got a point each for that. Newcastle Tottenham. You said 2-0 Kane. I said 3-0 Kane. We got a point each for Kane, basically. Harry Kane, 31 goal involvements in 31 games this season in the Premier League alone. You know, pains me as an Arsenal fan to say it. Honestly, it does. But this guy, what's he doing at Spurs?
I mean, to add to Mus's 3 certainties in life, I'd like to add the 4th certainty in life, which is that Tottenham will bottle it. Against a really poor Newcastle side. Was it a set piece in the last few minutes? But yeah, Harry Kane. People are sort of talking about Haaland, as we were saying last week. But actually, if you want, you know, a certified goal scorer, someone that's been proven at the top level, someone that adds more, that has a little bit more to his game than Haaland, probably. I know City are being rumoured with Haaland, but Pep doesn't really like him.
It's Haaland.
I know you said last week that you're going to be that guy, and I'm not going to be that guy. I follow
not
the crowd.
Holland, Joe. It's the Netherlands officially.
Very good.
No, he's actually Norwegian. No, but he, Harry Kane. I think
there's no way that you're getting away with that one. Sorry.
That was Oslo.
Hey.
And we've killed the conversation. Right, should we move on to the next one?
Sorry.
I was going to say, City being rumoured with Haaland, I think Harry Kane suits him a lot better. He drops deep. He has a hell of a lot more to his game. One of the best passes ball in the Premier League, even. That's when you stop talking about his goal statistics. Makes me very excited about the Euros, as long as he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, and remember what everyone used to say about Harry Kane as well. Just he can't score in August, and then he's just a one-season wonder, and he's proven everyone wrong. But he needs to leave Spurs if he wants to get some trophies in that cabinet. Because when he retires,
you know where he learned that grip.
Leicester.
Arsenal.
If you look at his own spells, he was actually a terrible player until he joined famous Lions of South London.
Premier League show, Roz. Premier League show.
We're talking about Harry Kane. Talking about one of the best Premier League strikers. And so I watched him live as an 18-year-old for about 6 months, and yeah, you could tell then, just quality player. Couldn't tell that he was going to go as far as he has. But
you watched him live as an 18-year-old, he must have been about 5 then, at that time. Funny. Right, next game. Let's move on. Where are we? Villa Fulham. We both said 2-1 Grealish. So we both got a point because Villa won. They won 3-1 though. Grealish was man of the match. Anything to report here, guys?
Trezeguet loves the golden goal.
What's that?
Trezeguet loves a golden goal.
Yeah.
Very good.
I
reckon most viewers are too young to remember golden goal, and even it being a thing. And was that the '98 World Cup or the 2000 Euros?
Euro 2000 was when it came
Euro
in.
2000. Yeah. No, I was just gonna say the Jack Grealish injury setback, making England fans a bit nervy.
Yeah, I mean another injury setback that's making fans a bit nervy. We'll come on to shortly. But first up, let's talk Man United, Brighton and Hove Albion. Man United won 2-1, which is what Roz predicted. I also predicted a Man United win. I said 3-0, and we both went for Bruno. Roz, get ready to dance, Brosif, because you just got 3 points for a game.
I didn't even realise. Woohoo!
Yes, mate, well done. You got full 3 points. Bruno was officially the man of the match, and Man United won 2-1. So you got the result, the score, and the man of the match. Well played.
Thanks, man.
This guy's an expert, people. Listen to what he says, okay? Anything we want to mention about that
although-
game?
It shouldn't have been 2-1. I've got this running dialogue with a Man United fan. He says, "Oh no, Harry Maguire's a very decent player. He's really, he's been solid lately, and he's been really solid."
Oh.
And every single game I watch, I find something which proves me right. And that penalty incident that wasn't a penalty after VAR, where he got caught the wrong side of his man, sprinted back pathetically to try and cover it, and then does what Harry Maguire seems to do inevitably, which is go in like a bull in a china shop and just like bundle the player over.
So true.
I'll give Harry Maguire, he's better on the ball than a lot of centre halves his size.
Is
The beast in the air in both boxes.
Roz?
I've run out. That I can't rate him at all.
Roz and Mus, sorry Mus, like I just need to butt in here. When you watch Harry Maguire play for England, he looks like a classy player. When you watch him play for Man United, he looks like Phil Jones. Like what? Like it's so funny. He goes from like Beckenbauer to Phil Jones. Like,
you reckon it's the armband that's literally weighing him down? Excited.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's the pressure of being captain, or maybe it's a tactical thing. I mean, what else could it be? He looked classier at Leicester as well, where he was a ball player. But Solskjaer doesn't. Solskjaer wants him to play ball, but also Solskjaer wants him to be a nuisance. And
he gets further up the pitch for Man United. You see him for Man United, and he's almost in that kind of. You often find him in that sort of Jordan Henderson sort of overlapping, going around the ball back row and sort of picking the ball up there. He pushes really high up the pitch, which I wouldn't do. For the life of me, I would never do it if I had Victor Lindelof or Eric Bailly as my backup.
Well, there you go.
But it's funny. Like actually on the ball, when he actually receives it, his sort of first touch just looks klutzy. He looks like he's never touched the ball in his life. But I agree. Like for Leicester, for Sheffield United, even. As a young kid, and for Hull after that, and for England in that 2018 World Cup.
Yeah,
looks like a much better player.
So there is a classy player in there. I guess it depends who's there in front of him. And for England recently, it's been Declan Rice. Who we will come on to.
For Leicester, he would have had
Kante,
Mendy, and Ndidi.
And Kante.
Was it Kante before that? Was it over there Leicester at the same time?
Yeah, when they won it, they were both in the winning.
No, Kante left the season after they won it. Maguire joined the season after they won it.
Oh, right, fair enough.
They probably shared a dressing room for like all of 2 days.
Maybe they shared the same spot in the dressing room.
Autograph and then he signed for Chelsea.
Maybe they shared the same spot in the dressing room. There was like...
Yeah, maybe.
Kante left and then they had to move the hook up the wall a bit for Maguire to come in.
But yeah, no, the good player in there, but whenever he puts on a red shirt, makes me nervous.
So when Man United bid for Rice in the summer, United fans should be excited.
I can see that happening. They like a West Ham.
What's that, Miss?
Well, I was going to say they should get excited until the bid gets turned down.
Yeah. And Roz, what are you saying?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna. They like a West Ham English player, don't they? They
yes.
He kind of fits that mold. You can see him being the next great number 16.
Yeah.
After Keane and Carrick, maybe a bit more
in
the former. But yeah, how much will West Ham want for him is the thing. And how much does he actually love West Ham to kind of stay there? Because remember, he's people talk about him like he's West Ham through and through. He was Chelsea Academy. He was pinched from the Chelsea Academy, or maybe sort of kicked out of the Chelsea Academy. He hasn't been at West Ham all his life or anything, so he probably will want to move on to a bigger club. But I'd imagine Man United want to spend bigger on in other areas of the pitch, namely that sort of right wing spot, up front. I've mentioned Haaland, and dear God, they need a centre half.
Yeah, they could. I mean, Man United might be looking at breaking the bank again to challenge next season. But let's move on. Let's get to the next game. Everton Palace. We both thought this would be a walk in the park for Everton, didn't we, Roz, last week? You said 2-0, I said 3-0. We both said DCL would get it. Wasn't to be. Everton looked kind of good up to a point, didn't they? They looked like they were holding out, and then Michy Batshuayi, after his midweek international performance, came in for Palace, got the equaliser. James Rodriguez, incidentally, man of the match for this one, but we both left with 0 points. Nil points. Anything you want to comment on this game or either club before we move on? We are going to speak about both of them later.
I didn't watch it.
Okay, which brings us to the final game of last week's game week. Wolves, West Ham, Monday Night Football. And it didn't disappoint, did it, lads? It was a really good game. Roz, you thought 3-1 West Ham. I thought 2-1 West Ham. You said Lingard man of the match. I said Bowen man of the match. They both had pretty good games. Lingard was outstanding and clearly man of the match. We didn't quite get the score, but we sort of knew it would be both teams scoring, etc., etc. And it was quite funny on Monday Night Football. Gary Neville saying he was expecting it to be some sort of snore fest, wasn't he? He was like, "This is going to be a boring game. This is going to be a boring game." And half time, 3-1. Lingard scored a worldie and done some skill that's never been seen like in years. Yeah. So you got 2 points. I got 1 overall. Then Roz, I got 8 points, and you, my friend, got 9.
It's closer than I am.
We're getting better, aren't we? We are getting better.
But yeah, we're getting pretty decent. I'm glad that I won despite my 11-0 Sheffield United lead prediction.
Yeah, all right, mate. Okay. Overall, you're 6-2 up, which means I've got a lot of coming back to do. So I'll tell you what, this week we'll all do predictions, all 3 of us, and I'll have Mus's points as well. How about that? Yeah, cool. All right, nice one. We all agree.
Did I score one of your goals, Drew?
Go on.
No, I think as in one of your 2 was me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. You absolutely did, mate. Thank you very much for that. So
You're welcome.
thanks for the assist. Or well, I mean, it's almost like you snatched it off me at the goal line. It was like you were goal hanging. Yeah. Anyway, okay, right. Let's then have a look at this week's game week fixtures. If you're watching, now is the time to get involved. Get in the chat box and tell us what your predictions are for the matches as we go through them. So here are this week's fixtures. Last night, Fulham lost 1-0 at home to Wolves in what Roz described as a modern classic. Today's games, Man City leads at 12:30 on BT Sport. Liverpool Villa at 3:00 on Sky, followed by Crystal Palace Chelsea at 5:30. Sunday's games, Burnley host Newcastle at midday. West Ham host Leicester at 2:05, and Super Sunday is concluded on Sky Sports with Spurs Man United at 4:30. Then switch over to BT Sport for Sheffield United at Arsenal at 7. Monday night, West Brom host Southampton 6:00 on Sky, and Brighton host Everton at 8:15, also on Sky Sports. Anything standing out to you there, Mus?
I think it'll be really interesting to see the post-European, the clubs kind of post-European fixtures. So I feel like City League game might kind of carry a surprise. Be interesting to see if Arsenal bother turning up or whether they kind of rest key players and try and go all out to overturn the result, because the season really hinges on that. So I think I'll be really interested in seeing kind of what Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal all do this game week.
Cool. And Roz, what do you see as being the highlight of those fixtures? What are you looking forward to?
It's already happened, mate. It was Fulham Wolves last night. Can I say that, you know, like when an owner of a football club, when a team gets like absolutely twatted on the road, so like the away fans go and they see their team lose 7-8-0 or something, and the owner always offers to pay for the tickets, to refund the tickets of the away fans that were good enough to travel to see their team lose in such a fashion. I reckon Sky Sports should do a similar thing when they broadcast a game that is so clearly, you know, but I think I deserve something off the fee that I pay for having sat through that game. The one moment of quality the Traore finish at the end, which really killed it for Fulham. I felt really sorry for Scott Parker. But you can always tell how good a game is by how much time the ball actually spends on the floor and how much time it spends in the air. And it's just Fulham lobbing it into the box and just nothing happening. Connor Cody and Saez, both very good, but really dull game.
Roz, I didn't watch the game yesterday, but was there anything in the coverage about the man with the baby oil on his arms curling it past Areola?
It was it depends. I think the goalkeepers union will always say that Traore, there was a sort of, the goalkeeper would want to do better, but it was actually a very powerfully hit shot. I think everyone else that isn't in that goalkeepers union will say keeper had to do better. Gets caught out at his near post.
So Roz, you missed the implicit pun there. Well, not pun, but the implicit joke with Areola and baby oil. But it's a family show, so I probably could have guessed. Joe, back to you.
Back to you in the studio. Right, okay. Let's go through and predict these games then, lads. Man City Leeds. I want your scoreline and I want your man of the match. And let's be unequivocal here with what we're saying. Man of the match. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Absolutely.
Is that Budweiser official man of the match?
Unless, I mean, I will go and check that if you disagree, but we can all, you know who man of the match is. It's like when you play five-a-side with me, lads. You know who man of the match is. You know what I mean? Right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. What do you reckon then? Man City Leeds. Mus, you were talking about the European hangover, and maybe we'll come to Mus first on this one because he was saying this, one he was kind of looking forward to.
Yeah, so I mean, I've gone bold. I think this could be a
You've got plenty of hair, mate. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Cheers, mate. I mean, I've got my first post-lockdown haircut scheduled for Wednesday morning. But
yeah.
I think it'll be an away win for Leeds, 2-1, with Rafinha as the man of the match.
Wow, big shout.
Yeah, I just think the Dortmund game is still in the balance with that away goal. And I think Guardiola has already been playing Pep Roulette for the last couple of months. Season's wrapped up in the league. And I think Leeds will go for it. And yeah, it should be an exciting game. But yeah, I'm going to go all out, 2-1 Leeds.
Yeah, you'd hope to see some... It's one of those games where, on paper, you expect an entertaining, attacking game of football. Roz, is this one in danger of being the complete opposite? And also, if you're watching, get your predictions in the comments and we'll share them.
I don't think there'll be too much time on the actual football at all, really, because if you had sort of Man City games and Leeds games up as a sort of round average, I think about 80% of the time will just be spent on the managers and their touchline tactics. So he's crouching, he's on the floor, and he's really old, he's crouching, and look, he's such a philosopher. If you want to play a sort of Man City
this is the Roz rantometer. I'm just going to get I'm just going to have to patron the Roz rantometer. I want to get a little thing here, oh, he's going to blow, lads. He's going to blow. He's going to blow.
But when you said patron, we were talking about American words last week. I thought you were going to say I'm just going to patronize him. I love it when an American says that because there's nothing that wants to make me kind of patronize an American more when say, don't patronize me. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's pronounced patronizing. It means when you talk down to someone.
Exactly. Don't patronize.
That's a Jimmy Carr joke.
If you want to play a sort of Leeds City drinking game, you can sort of have a couple of shots every time they talk about the student-master relationship between Pep and Bielsa, all that kind of stuff. You can, if Leeds do get thrashed 6-0, you can have a drink every time they say, but didn't Leeds do well when they just so open and expansive in their demolition.
Are you recommending that people get blind drunk at 12:30 on a Saturday?
No, I'm recommending they don't turn on BT Sports at all. They switch into Sky at 12:30 to watch Millwall Swansea, which is what I'll be doing.
Yeah, let me just check. I'll check social media to see when that one's kicking off.
Yeah. Kind of set me up for it.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go 3-0 Man City for this one. I think that Mus is right in terms of teams like Arsenal focusing on the next game, the next European game, and resting players. This is what Pep does, isn't it? If there's any side that's sort of well accustomed to a player coming into the side and just playing once a week, but still turning up and still putting in a performance, I think it's Man City. So I'm actually gonna go, because he didn't play a full 90 midweek, I don't think. We might have done. He got the late goal, but I'm gonna go for Phil Foden. Did he start the game?
Yeah, he started. He played 90 minutes. Anyway, let's move on.
I'm going to go for Ilkay Gundogan.
Sorry, Roz. You know the
well.
rules. You know
Fine,
the
I'll win
rules.
anyway.
And if we don't impose the rules, they will be flaunted yet more. At least you've done it just on the first game, so you won't get caught out later on when you predict that Sheffield United will beat Arsenal 11-0. But, stranger things. Okay, so I went for 3-1 to City. Gabriel Jesus to be the man of the match. I mean, I don't really need to explain myself. You guys have kind of covered it. Liverpool Villa then. I've gone 2-1 to Liverpool. And that man, the man of the moment, who they finally got back from his injury layoff, Diogo Jota.
You said that Liverpool are going to win at Anfield.
Yes. I think Liverpool have dealt with the so-called sort of ghosts in their closet, the skeletons in their closet, if you like. I feel like they've actually finally kind of got over Van Dijk not being there,
Yeah, and you can tell that actually for 1, 2, and 3 of the goals they conceded.
Yeah. Do you not watch Tuesday's game, Joe?
No, well, it's a Premier League show, mate. I'm talking Premier League. We're not talking. We're not talking about their match at Real Madrid's training stadium or whatever. Like,
did you guys see that Liverpool? I forget his name.
Yeah,
the Liverpool YouTuber.
Yeah.
Do you know his name, Ross?
I can't remember his name. The one who the Scouser who, oh bless him.
Yeah,
it was a good clip.
He was commenting on the Liverpool game, and he was like, "Oh, I'm happy that it was 1-0 at this point. I'm happy that Trent's having this kind of season. It's good for him, to have like people rip him apart every week. He'll grow because of it, and he'll make plenty of mistakes. He'll probably make plenty more mistakes in this game, and then he just his face just like descends into like silent shock for 30 seconds as Trent cushions a header back to was it Asensio or whoever?
Yeah.
Interesting one, this, boys, because you think the reverse fixture. Who remembers the reverse fixture this season? What was the score?
Oh, 7-2, right?
7-2 to Villa. Liverpool got
playing. Van Dijk was playing.
VVD was there.
But Grealish was also playing, and I think that would be a big...
And Grealish is expected to be out for another 2 weeks. I've got a bit more team news if you want it. Joe Gomez, Jordan Henderson, Joel Matip, Keeman Kelleher, Virgil van Dijk, and Divock Origi are all still out. Grealish expected to be out for a further 2 weeks, following setback in his recovery from his shin problem. He's got a bit of a shin injury, hasn't he? Defender Courtney House returns to the squad, but Wesley is not yet fit enough. That's the team news. So Liverpool, that defensive list. I feel like they're just adding names that don't really matter. Like Keeman Kelleher, like what is he, like third choice keeper?
He's been one of their better goalkeepers this season, I thought.
One of their better goalkeepers, what, between him and Alisson?
And Adrian. I don't think I've seen Kelleher make a mistake. And he's only about 12 years old, bless him.
Come on, let's have your predictions, lads.
I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And I'm going to say that Mo Salah will be man of the match.
From one goal-scoring legend to another, Mus?
Yeah, from one goal-scoring Egyptian legend to another.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Liverpool 2-0. I know the logic doesn't follow the Man City game, but I think for Klopp, it's all about trying to build momentum and good form, and he will probably go with a strong team, and they'll try and win at Anfield to prepare for the Madrid return leg. So I think 2-0. Salah, key man. So Jota, apparently, I heard in the week that whenever he's been on the pitch, he's accounted for 50% of all Liverpool goals. But I was doing a bit of a rough calculation, and between him and Salah, they've scored 26 of Liverpool's 51 league goals this season. So again, just over 50% between the two of them.
That's
But yeah, I
ridiculous.
think it'll be Salah.
Especially when you consider the fact that Jota's been injured for a good portion of that time. And when did they buy Jota?
In the summer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been great.
yeah, absolutely. He was a bit of a surprise purchase, wasn't he, at the beginning of the season? Kind of wasn't expecting Klopp to kind of add to what he had. He was playing everything down a lot, wasn't he? Like, we don't need players, like. But that's an awful Klopp impression. But as a Dortmund fan, I should be ashamed of that. But yeah, I think my impressions are so bad that they're good. Is that right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Why
tell
not?
yourself that. I've got a video of you doing a better Klopp impression. So
Have you really?
I think I do actually.
Okay.
You can do better, Joe.
Well, if you check EPL, if you're watching and you want to see my good Klopp impression, then you can go to EPLW Pod on Twitter at EPLW Pod, and we'll get it posted up there after the show. How does that sound, guys? Good? Brilliant. Okay. So Chelsea are away at Palace today. The main issue here is Chelsea's away kit is the same as Palace's home kit. What are they going to do? Yeah, right? My mind has been blown by this. Chelsea's disgusting away kit. No offence to Palace's home kit, but it is a disgusting away kit. It's basically Palace's kit, isn't it? And this could cause issues. Palace, another issue, they could be without Michy Batshuayi, who is ineligible to face his parent club. They're boosted, though, by the return of James McCarthy and Tyrick Mitchell, but Connor Wickham has a minor injury and joins a lengthy list of absentees.
Connor Wickham has a minor injury, as he has done for the last 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't remember the last time Connor Wickham played. I think it was for Sunderland.
I literally, as I was reading that team news, I was like, who's Connor Wickham? Oh, yeah, Connor Wickham. Chelsea head coach Tommy Tuchel gave his side a clean bill of health in his pre-match press conference. Oh, a clean bill of health. Dr. Tuchel, I presume. However, central defender Thiago Silva is suspended as a result of his sending off at West Brom last weekend. That proved to be a pretty pivotal sending off, didn't it, in that game? So, what do we reckon then, boys? Crystal Palace, Chelsea. I'll tell you my prediction to get things going. I'm going to say 1-1. I reckon Palace turn up for big games. Don't look at me like that, Roz. Wait until next week, and then we'll see. Then you can look at me like that if I'm wrong, right? But I reckon 1-1. I reckon Mason Mount is on fire. He'll get a Chelsea a goal. He'll be the player of the match. But I can just see Palace sneaking it somehow, sneaking a draw like they did against Everton. You know, Chelsea are a bit wounded, walking wounded. And as Mus said, the European hangover, where are your priorities? They're safe enough in the league at the moment. You know what I mean? 1-1 Mason Mount.
I had the same prediction as you, Joe. I had a 1-1 draw as well. Although you make me want to go for a Chelsea win now, just to try and get a differential. But no, I'll stick to the 1-1. Yeah, I think if any team's been on the beach counter to lockdown restrictions, it's been Crystal Palace. They've just been plodding along. The season's over for them. You know, they're not going down, but they're not really going to go up the table much either. But I think they show up for the odd game, and I think this is the kind of game where they could catch Chelsea cold, and Chelsea will be missing, as you said, the grime legend Thiago Silva. Yeah, it'll be a draw.
Just incidentally, I saw Dave perform that at Glastonbury in 2019, and the kid that went up on stage, we're like, my mates and I were watching it with, were like, is this staged or something? It must be completely staged. And
Yeah. He's so good.
Yeah, he's so good, the kid.
Wait, Joe, so you could have been Alex from Glastonbury?
I could have been Alex from Glasgow. Look, it could be me on the front page of Boohoo Man website right now with my bucket hat and my little like man bag, like rude boy man bag, road man bag.
I'm sure I'm late to the party on this, but I've just realised that, you know, it says for Aspilicueta. Do you know what Chelsea fans call him?
Dave.
You got Dave playing next to Thiago Silva. No one's picked up on that.
Brilliant.
That's very good.
Yes, right. We're going to clip that up as well. Well, it's 10:49 a.m. That was said. Okay, get that clipped up on the website. Very good.
No, I think you could have a long conversation about the worst kits of the season. I'd put Chelsea away up there. I'd also put Man United's third up there. City's third kit, which looks like a sort of granny sort of tea table cloth.
Yeah, paper towel.
Hang on, can I just go back to Man United's third kit? It looks like a zebra is looking in the mirror and just smashed its hoof on the mirror, and it's just kind of like
Or
crept
like
up.
a zebra in like a house of mirrors, like a
Yeah.
it's just like, well. There was another one. Oh, Wolves away. That's an atrocity. The white one with the sort of orange, blue, and black.
Yeah. Oh, we've had a comment from Matthew Douglas. He just said he's feeling sorry for Connor Wickham. He says, "Poor Connor Wickham."
Oh, bless.
It's Matt. It's Matt. We've missed you, Matt. I hope you're still watching.
EPL
Matt, we love you.
legends.
Come back, Matt. Come back. We're talking about Chelsea. Tell us what you reckon the result's going to be later on for Chelsea. Right. Okay. Right. Official
do my
predictions.
results.
Salah,
Yeah.
you've given Salah. Oh my God. Mus, you've given me a score, but you haven't given me a man of the match. Roz, you haven't given me either.
Yeah. I'll go for Zaha. No.
Zaha. Okay, and that's locked in. That's on the spreadsheet. And Roz.
Right, so Matt's gonna love this because you've both gone for Palace draws, and no, I think if there are very few teams as a neutral that I have sort of something against, and obviously there's sort of
I don't know about that. Hang on a second.
Wait, neutral?
That is outrageous. That is an outrageous statement. Palace, West Ham, Leeds, Man United.
In terms of the football that they play, and actually watching as a neutral, there are very few teams that I sort of have something against. I really hope, and that result last night in the Fulham game will help their chances of survival. I really hope Newcastle go down because for me, they offer nothing. What they offer is really poor games of football. Crystal Palace are another one of those for me. They have the occasional the 3-2 City result. They have the occasional game, but the majority of Palace games are just so dull to watch. I can't wait until they get relegated.
Roz, can I pick you up on something quickly? Do you remember when you were having a go about Leeds and their brand of football they play, and we were trying to defend it, saying, but that's what you want. You want entertaining football. That's part of what you bring to the Premier League, and that's a responsibility of the club. But now what you're saying is kind of the opposite. Like, actually, Palace are too dull. You don't want them in the Premier League. But
you're suggesting that it's the false dichotomy, Joe. You can't. Both can be true. And actually, I don't think it's too much to ask that a team with attackers and defenders defends, doesn't go all guns blazing, and actually gets rightfully criticised for how poor their defence is. It's not, there's a third option, which is being kind of well-rounded. But it's not even about, I don't mind watching a team just play for set pieces. The likes of Sam Allardyce's West Ham, for example, that kind of stick it to them, get hard in a tackle. It's what I've watched as a Millwall fan every week, sort of being that underdog. But that's not what Palace do. They just drain games of any life. I don't think they're particularly hard in a tackle.
Is that I agree that, I don't find Palace games interesting to watch, but is that because they're Crystal Palace, or is that because of the manager it looks to all intents and purposes like that manager will not be there next season as they start like a rebuild project? Is that a reason to want them to go down?
Who steps in? Who's on the market? I think they'll stick with Roy, to be honest.
Eddie Howe? Is Eddie Howe still around?
I think he's going to Celtic, isn't he?
Well, no, he's confirmed that he won't be starting a job until next season, but has denied any talks whatsoever. Celtic being linked with everyone. But I could see it. I think it'd be a good career move for him to get a trophy.
What about Roy Keane?
Roy Keane, can I just dispel a myth? Because I might have even done this already.
Are you going to tell us how nice Roy Keane is?
No. I'm getting really pissed off with people who've been watching the Premier League for about 2 minutes and talking about every Roy Keane punditry comment, saying he doesn't know what he talks about. He doesn't know what he's talking about either. It's a good sentence to stumble on. But sort of putting him in the same boat as Gary Neville in terms of a failed manager. Okay, Roy Keane, as a manager, everyone says, failed manager, doesn't know tactics, doesn't know anything, right? He took over Sunderland, who were at the time the lowest points total Premier League team of all time. but it was before the Derby one. They got relegated, the lowest ever Premier League points total. He rebuilt them totally and finished with something like 94, 95 points in the Championship the season after, the next season, right? He then took them up, and actually the odd game looked occasionally decent. They got relegated due to lack of funds, but actually, rebuilt a side there. He also took Republic of Ireland as an assistant manager to Martin O'Neill and got them to the finals of a major tournament, which, if you look down Ireland's history, is about as good as it gets as an Ireland manager. So the guy clearly knows what he's talking about managerially, and I think would be actually quite a good fit at Celtic, personally.
But what about at Palace?
If you go to Twitter, everyone's like, "Oh, Roy Keane, shit manager." No,
I think the Roy Keane thing is the thing about Roy Keane is obviously he's got a wealth of experience. He's a natural winner, and he's captained. He's a leader as well. Captained United to countless trophies, but it's kind of the way he goes about it, isn't it? And some of the it's all very well having like unflinching and unchanging kind of boundaries and setting those boundaries and stuff, but some of the stories you hear about like behind the scenes are a bit much. Let's not go into detail on Roy Keane right now, but maybe a special down the line. Mus, have your say.
So just before we move on from the match, I'm still reeling from Roz saying getting hard in the tackle. I mean, some of the filth that you guys come up with, it's not even 11 a.m.
Actually, that's the point I was making. So I don't mind a team being defensively rigid and, playing for an obvious result like for Old Trafford. But, give a bit, just give a bit of something. Have a bit about you. Even if you're playing prehistoric long ball football and that's all your talents are, just, be hard in a tackle. And Newcastle don't offer that. Palace don't offer that. They just offer crap draws. But anyway, prediction. Chelsea Palace. That's for 2-0 Chelsea. So you've both gone for draws there. Nah, not happening. 2-0 Chelsea, controlled. He'll learn from his mistake of, well, not even mistakes. He scored an absolute belter of a goal. Lovely touch midweek. Main man, Mason Mount. But I think he left him out and it really showed last week. I think he'll start this week. And yeah, Rudiger will come back in, I think, and draw up the defence a bit too. Not that they'll have much defending to do. It's Palace.
Okay, so quickly before we move on, Crystal Palace manager, next manager odds I've just found on interweb somewhere. These are by no means up to date or anything. I'm not a bookmaker. I just looked up these things. Apparently John Terry is or was the favourite at the time of this article being written. Interesting one there. Maybe we'll leave that one.
It just misses Gary Cahill. That's all it is.
Who doesn't miss Gary Cahill, right? Am I right, guys?
To be honest, the idea of John Terry just staying at home and criticising broadcasters on his Instagram.
But what is that?
Yeah.
The Robbie Savage thing, where it's like, I don't take his opinion as a pundit seriously because he hasn't won as many trophies as me. Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't need to have won trophies to analyse football. I can't stand John Terry. He's such a mug.
Okay, right. Tomorrow at Turf Moor, Burnley host Newcastle United at midday. It's the Lion, guys. I feel like they purposely schedule what should be the most boring game of the week here, but it turns out to be a good game always. So make sure you set your alarm clocks for 11:59 a.m. tomorrow if you're late sleepers. I'm not. I have a child. So Burnley Newcastle 12 o'clock Turf Moor. Burnley defender Phil Barsley is available again after a recent spell away. Eric Peters is fit, but Ashley Barnes, Kevin Long, and Robbie Brady remain unavailable. Newcastle captain Jamal Lascelles could miss the rest of the season with what is believed to be a stress fracture in his foot, sustained against Spurs last week. Callum Wilson is available after 2 months out, but will he start? Andy Carroll's also back in training. If Newcastle have got a chance, surely this is where it starts, right?
I think this is so 0-0 it hurts. I think the reverse fixture was 0-0, and that one, you could see coming a mile off. And Newcastle have no fire about them. I just don't. they'll look at Fulham losing yesterday and go, "Oh, we're still in it, lads. We're still in it." And 2 games in hand, they'll get that false sense of security. Won't throw anything at it. Sean Dyche will be rigid. Think 0-0. Definitely not watching.
And who's your man of the match then, Roz, in a 0-0? The ref?
Yeah. Let's go for.
To be fair, Roz, before you say it, if you choose the ref and the ref has the best game out of everyone, I'll give you the point. And it's
Who's the ref? Is it Mike Dean?
It's Anthony Taylor.
Oh, he's not too bad. Let's go for Jimmy Tarkovsky. I don't think anyone's called him Jimmy before. James Tarkovsky.
Cheers, mate. I'll just try and remember how to spell that as I write it down.
I would go for Ben Mee, but I want to challenge you.
I am challenged. Okay, Mus.
I'm going to go 1-0 Burnley. I think they're, the better organised side, and they might nick it. Chris Wood to be man of the match.
Nice. That's very similar to my prediction of 2-0 Burnley, Chris Wood. I think Burnley at Turf Moor, they'll have too much for Newcastle. Newcastle are just on a downward spiral. There's a bad energy about them. They're going to go down. They're gone. Their heads have gone already, lads. No matter what Steve Bruce says.
He gave them extra days off, didn't he?
I reckon Sean Dyche's men will turn up and do the job. Week in, week out. Chris Wood, goal and an assist last week. Yeah, I'll go for Chris Wood 2-0. The impressions are coming thick and fast, lads. Hopefully, they're so bad that people will get annoyed and talk to other people about us, and we can grow this thing. What were you saying there, Roz? Sorry, I couldn't stop myself.
Steve Bruce gave his men an extra few days off in the international break. Then a relegation dogfight, and he thought, we don't need to train anymore. It's fine. I
thought my impression of Steve Bruce was bad. Wow.
I went a bit rummy scouse there, and I didn't really know where I was going. So I tried to reel it back.
Isn't he from Sunderland? Is he a Mackham?
He is. No, he's a Geordie.
Is he a Geordie?
And took the Mackham job with Sunderland. And so Newcastle fans have never really taken to him because he tried to pull the sort of Geordie card. It's like, I've been a Newcastle fan all my life. And they were like, well, why did you take the Sunderland job then?
Wow. I'm sure we're endearing ourselves to people from the northeast right now by confusing Steve Bruce as whether he's from Sunderland or Newcastle. But, whatever. At least he's not from Middlesbrough, eh? Woo! Okay, let's move on then. Sunday 2:05 kickoff is West Ham against Leicester at the London Stadium. West Ham coming off the back of that win at Wolves. Leicester coming off the back of that 2-0 defeat at Man City, from at home to Man City, should I say? And looking like Leicester could bottle it. This is a really big game. It's actually potentially a pick of the week because it's third place, fourth. Leicester on 56, West Ham on 52. West Ham could either cement their place in the top 4 here, could put Leicester on a downward spiral, or Leicester could make sure they break away and cement their place in the top 4. I mean, I can't call this one, lads. Well, obviously I have made a prediction, but I can't really call it realistically.
Interesting game. I would say it is the pick of the week. I think I predicted... Did I predict Leicester in my top 4? But just about.
Your top 4 prediction goes like this, Roz. Man City, Chelsea, Man U, Spurs.
Yeah, right. So I think Leicester are looking better on points, but let's add a 5th certainty in life, which is that, when the shit hits the fan, Brendan Rodgers will bottle it.
Fantastic human being, Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, great to have around the dressing room. Sorry, we just had another comment from Matt. He's still watching for some reason. Nice one, Matt. He said more impressions. So
brilliant.
Just throw some impressions in there, lads, as you go in. It'd be great.
Well, you've stolen my famous Sean Dyche one, so I don't really know where to go from there.
West Ham, David Moyes. No, let's not go there.
No, you think it's a Scot? I could do one, but I can't. Oh, I can. I don't know. Wrinkle up my face. But David Moyes looks a bit like Emperor Palpatine,
Oh,
the Emperor from Star Wars. Does anyone realise that? After, obviously, he's like he's aged since he's taken the West Ham job the second time. He's aged about 20 years. He looks about 85 now. It's crazy.
he's got the eyes of Pierluigi Collina and the skin of Roy Hodgson.
Yeah.
You would not want to bump into him on a dark night in East London, like around the estate. He's like, "You're right, sunshine. What are you doing out there?"
I wouldn't want to bump into his dermatologist. No, I'd say that West Ham will win this one. I think that Leicester will bottle it. I think Jesse Lingard will be man of the match. I'm going to go for 3-1.
Wow, Roz. I've gone exactly the same. You have matched my prediction there. 3-1 West Ham and Lingard. Interesting though, isn't it? Interesting that we're going for West Ham. West Ham just have, as I was saying about Newcastle having a bad energy around them at the moment, West Ham seem to have a really good energy around them. I'm not going to start suggesting that we all like touch crystals and stuff, because they're good, really good energy if you touch the crystals, man. They're good to have in your home. But you know what I mean. Good energy around the thing. I don't want to be too spiritual for what is essentially a football show. Football, lads. Right, okay. Mus, what's your prediction? Who's your man of the match?
Lads, Reiki.
Yeah. Football, lads, holistic health options.
I was your Reiki session the other day. Fucking brilliant, mate. My aura was proper cleansed, mate. Proper cleansed.
Do you know what I'm going to do at half time, lads? I'm going to do a quick 10-minute meditation before I go to the bar, yeah? And we get straight back on it.
Wait, can I ask you a fucking serious question, yeah? You're an Aries, you're a Pisces.
Mus, what's your star sign? Sorry, what's your prediction for this game?
Pisces, since you asked, but my prediction for this
I
game
don't know. That's a bit
is,
fishy. Yeah.
I'm a Scorpio. Does that mean we're compatible as pundits? I don't know.
Now, I'll tell you what it means if you're a Scorpio. It means you're a very triggerable, fiery person.
Really?
Scorpio sign.
No, I'm just making it up like they do. It's fine.
Is the Scorpio sign just a picture of Eric Cantona?
Why would that?
I think right, that's it.
You could have gone for actually, that is one thing that I'll say about Palace. World-class goals do tend to get scored against them. Not by Palace players, but if you remember the Olivier Giroud Scorpion goal was...
Yeah, and the Giroud bicycle kick as well against them at their gaff.
Yeah, and there have been a few at Selhurst Park. The Beckham Wimbledon goal was actually at Selhurst Park, because I think Wimbledon were playing Selhurst Park at the time. The halfway line goal, I have a feeling, was at Selhurst Park.
Yeah,
that might have been. No, I'm sure that's right.
Right, we were sorry to move you along. Yeah, we're going to get to Mus's horoscope finally. You're a Pisces. Let's have your scoreline prediction and man of the match.
Okay, I think it will be an Archbishop Desmond.
Okay.
With Jay Lings as the man of the match.
Jay Lings. That literally is little like, look at my J, look at my L. Jay Lings.
I like it. Could you do it the other way around? It's Desmond Tutu.
But do you want my Desmond Tutu impression? Or?
Let's see how many people are watching right now.
I'm sure Matt wouldn't appreciate that.
There's 4 people watching, and one of them's me at the moment. So I'm sure,
I'm sure.
It'll be fine. Okay, great. Let's get on to Spurs Man United then. Tomorrow at 4:30, isn't it? It's the Super Sunday on Sky Sports. And the team news goes like this. Mourinho back at his... it's at home for Tottenham, isn't it? Mourinho facing his former employer. Spurs could welcome back Toby Alderweireld, that's how you pronounce it, and Serge Aurier, Mr. Mistakio, who were omitted last week because they missed a COVID-19 test. Fullbacks Ben Davies and Matt Doherty remain out. Man United manager OGS is hopeful Luke Shaw will be fit despite his half-time withdrawal during Thursday's win in Granada. Marcus Rashford continues to play on through an ankle injury, while Anthony Martial could be out for the season. Do you remember the reverse fixture for this one, lads? It was on the same.
I remember that we were talking about Harry Maguire, and I have to say he was absolutely superb. Really good value in this game. I think the 6-1.
It was on the same weekend, lads, as the 7-2.
Yeah, it was. It was like straight after, I think. It's on the same day. And yeah, that's right. So I think I watched them both with a Liverpool fan, and we saw the 7-2. It's like, what could possibly, or was it the other way around? It was like, what could possibly cheer me up, or how could this get any better? And Liverpool lost 7-2. That was the game that, for me, Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire just showed me what they did have in their locker, which is why I wouldn't trust either of them at Euros. Luke Shaw has been superb, particularly the second half of the season. But for me, in that England left-back spot, Ben Chilwell's been superb for 4 years. Luke Shaw's been good for 4 months or something. But yeah, Harry Maguire. I can't even remember which goal or who scored the actual goal, but it was a mix-up, and they were sort of trying to clear it.
Yeah.
I think
it was the Ndombele goal where Maguire ends up like just grabbing Luke Shaw and like dragging him back for some reason.
I mean, it makes me really miss Alan Hansen as a pundit. You know, it's sort of comedy era. It's comedy era.
Great impression. Love it. Mus, Man United are unbeaten, get this, in 22 Premier League away games. They've won 14 and drawn 8. Does that factor into your thinking in terms of your prediction? Oh, look, there's Chelsea's awful away kit.
Hey,
right,
yeah.
That's impressive away form. I hadn't factored it in because I'd gone for a Spurs comfortable home win. I think Spurs Man United games tend to be 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
That one really tickled you personally, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think this will be a comfortable home win. So United are slightly fatigued, carrying a few knocks, and I think Mourinho will be there, having prepared all week to try and make up for that Spursy capitulation at Newcastle. I think it'll be 2-0.
2-0. And who's your man of the match?
Let's go Harry Kane.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to really go out on a limb.
A bit outside the box with that one. Literally and figuratively. Roz, what's your prediction on this one?
It's hard, isn't it? Both sides have it in them to, really bottle it. I'm going to go for a 2-2, I think.
You're going for a Bishop Desmond?
Yes.
Okay.
Just like for my own sort of, we've got like Croydon instead of Boyno. We've got all that kind of
If you don't say Bishop Desmond and your prediction is 2-2, then you have to do some sort of forfeit. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go for a Bishop Desmond, and I'm going to go for. I think Harry Maguire will be the best value. I think he'll be absolutely crucial to this result. But I don't think that really counts as man of the match, does it? So I'm going to go for Harry Kane as well. Put the vote up.
Kane of fools. Right, I went for 1-1. And also went for Kane, obviously. Dave, who's watching, says he reckons 2-1 to United. So he's going for the United win. Mus reckons that Spurs are going to break Man United's 22-game unbeaten away in the Premier League streak. Okay, just getting that all out there. Just reminding everyone.
Is that the same Dave in the comments from Thiago Silva fame?
Yes.
His ears were burning.
Yeah, it is literally Dave, the rapper. Yeah.
Right.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay. Where are we? Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Sunday night, Sheffield United Arsenal at 7 p.m. on BT Sport. This one we sort of touched on earlier, and we were talking about how maybe this could be a bit of a bad time for Arsenal, potentially to play to play a team like Sheffield United, who maybe have a bit of a point to prove. The reverse fixture of this one was back on the 4th of October. It was 2-1 to Arsenal. Saka and Pepe both scoring, and McGoldrick getting the one back for Sheffield United. I mean, going into the game, Sheffield United have only won 1 in their last 6. Arsenal lost their last game, but before that, they were unbeaten in 4. So, Roz, what have you gone for on this one?
I'm going to go for the same results, reverse fixture. I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Arsenal. Everything about it suggests that this is the game that Arsenal fans would be kind of nervous about. They're just the kind of team that can kind of really cause them problems, put it all on Arsenal. But what I would say is that after that defeat at Liverpool, all of Arsenal's hopes of getting top 4 or top 5 even pretty much over, right?
Yeah, hard to disagree with that one.
So actually that could go one of 2 ways. You could either put everything into that fixture, the second leg against Slavia Prague, but on the other side, it might actually take a bit of pressure off Arsenal.
Yeah.
And go, and also Arteta's tactics, perhaps, and go, this is a chance for us to really kind of express ourselves, get a bit of confidence going into that midweek fixture. I can't see Willian starting, well, again, in an Arsenal shirt, really. I thought, how many times do you need to see that guy let Arteta down? Like,
I mean, it's a funny one, the Willian argument, isn't it? It's a real funny one. But he came out midweek and said he wants to do well at Arsenal, didn't he, himself? He came out and said that. So,
right. So, do you play him ahead of Saka, or do you play him ahead of Smith Rowe? Do you play him ahead of Odegaard? Like,
I think we're seeing. I think what
I know
we're
what you're
seeing
saying
is
about fatigue.
the fatigue. Yeah.
But
I
for me,
think.
why would you invest in a player that's that old, that isn't going to get you climbing up the table?
Well, because his best mate David Luiz owns a restaurant in North London, and they wanted to go in together on the business. Why else?
We're talking about Aguero and where will he go last week. I mean, he's got a poor injury record. He's about, he's approaching 35. And he's sort of got interests in other areas other than football. Aguero to Arsenal, surely it's written in the stars.
It wouldn't surprise me if he turned up in an Arsenal shirt, honestly. But yeah, Mus, what are your thoughts on this game before we get our predictions? Also, if you're watching, by the way, sorry, Mus, if you're watching, get in the comments and let us know your predictions. Will is in the comments, says, sadly, I could see Sheffield United drawing with Arsenal 1-1. As a Gooner, I hope their confidence is better than I think it is. A rather cryptic message from Will there. And BB Boxing says Arsenal 3-2. So, couple of predictions there. Mus, give us your thoughts and your prediction.
Well, yeah, I wish I shared the optimism of the was it BB
Boxing.
BB Boxing.
I thought you were going to say I wish I shared the optimism of a 1-1 draw.
Because I've gone, yeah, well, so I think Arsenal tend to have these kind of like run of poor forms. Like when it rains, it pours, and I expect them to lose, and I think they'll put everything into the Europa League. Arsenal aren't out of the tie yet. Like 1-1 was like, especially the way it happened, was terrible. But I think they can go there, get a result, and they're on the favourable side of the draw. Right, famous last words. But if you're facing the winner of Ajax Roma in the semi-final, and presumably facing Manchester United in the final, that is probably more attainable to try and win that trophy and get into the Champions League that way than what's now looking like a very long shot. So I think it'll be, excuse me, I think it'll be 1-0 Sheffield United.
Ooh.
Let's say McGoldrick. Couldn't pick out any Sheffield United player in a lineup, but let's go McGoldrick. He's the one person I know. I think with Willian, if I ever get taken hostage, I'd love my negotiator to be Kia Gorbachin, his agent, because I'll probably come out, I'll probably come out with like the £1 million reward myself.
Maybe just saying last week, don't know if you watched it, Mus, but like what I was saying, that sort of since agents have become more a part of football, so many more flops at football clubs for big money. And
Yeah.
but,
Just on that, Roz, I don't know if you or the viewers saw the Kevin De Bruyne story. He apparently negotiated the contract himself, no agent, just his dad, who's also a lawyer, on the line from Belgium, and apparently he recruited something like 80 data analysts to like help him make a case for why he's really important, like having like trolled through all the stats from the previous years.
love that.
Maybe that's the way forward.
And he's just become the Premier League's highest earning player, overtaking David De Gea. He's on £385,000 per week.
How on earth was it David De Gea beforehand?
Yeah, David.
That's it.
Well, he had Kia Joorabchian in the room, obviously. Oh. Go on, Roz. What's your prediction then?
Yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1 Arsenal, but I think that's 2-1 Arsenal. Lacazette.
Wow,
I mean,
Roz, you've mirrored me again. Are you just trying to make sure that? Have you seen my spreadsheet and you're trying to make sure I don't beat you? You trying to do that thing that you do on fantasy football?
yeah, that is what I do in fantasy football, is that I try and make my team, if I'm in the lead, as similar to the person below me as possible. But yeah, good tactic for any fantasy players.
Very good. Okay, right. Let's move on to Monday Night Football, shall we? And Southampton's visit to the Hawthorns. This one could be really interesting, couldn't it? West Brom in 19th place. They're 8 points from safety. We've gone on about this again and again. What do you reckon, guys? I mean, West Brom, Southampton. Can Sam do it? Can Big Sam do it at West Brom?
Got him, Mus.
Well, it depends what you mean by can he do it. Can he save them from relegation? I think probably not, but I think they could probably kind of go down valiantly. And I expect them to do well in this game. They have a blueprint from the Chelsea game that they can follow now, where you've got your big man up front, but you've got the runners from midfield. Ainsley Maitland-Niles has been a great addition, but they've also got great quality in Pereira and Conor Gallagher.
Conor Gallagher, yeah.
Yeah, and I think if you get them up front to support Diania, you will get chances. I expect them to win.
Fair enough. You expect them to win this game?
I think so.
And what's your prediction?
I've gone for 1-0. I'm going to say Diania, man of the match.
1-0, Diania.
You've absolutely copied me, Mus. It's exactly my job. I think that, like you, I think they'll go down. I think this is one of the more winnable games. It's the hope that kills you. And Diagna, I think, has impressed. If you're negotiating from one of the best sides in any country, a loan deal. So if you're going for a Galatasaray outcast even, and you're towards the bottom of the league, you're going for a player that's kind of used to winning every week. So a great bit of business. But even if it doesn't work out from in Turkey, if he goes back, I can see him back in the Premier League. It really seems to suit him, that kind of physical style, the defenders that play around him. They don't want it. They don't want it, Jeff. They're, he's got that about him. And has got the odd goal too in a poor West Brom side. Freudian. So yeah, no, I can see them winning 1-0, and I can see Ghana getting the goal.
Yeah, let's not forget he's an international as well. 11 appearances for Senegal, and he's got pedigree. He's a top player, and that's the thing about the Premier League these days. Even the teams that we're talking about going down have decent international players in their teams. I've actually gone for Mateus Pereira, but I also think West Brom win. I think they win 2-1 though. I think Southampton do have a bit about them, but I think it's a masterclass from Sam. And West Brom's running doesn't look great, so I kind of agree with you on that respect. I think it'll be close though. I think don't write off Big Sam in a relegation battle. He's got what it takes. Yeah, so 2-1 West Brom from me, and Mateus Pereira to be the difference. Okay, that brings us on to our final game, lads. Brighton and Hove Albion hosting Everton at the Amex on Monday night, 8:15. Where do we see this one going? Is it pretty much is it signed, sealed, delivered from an Everton point of view, or are they going to slip up? They're going to bottle it at the last minute. Brighton are 16th on 32 points. Everton 8th on 47 points, just 4 points off 5th. So if Chelsea lose, Everton win their game in hand that they have over them, and win this game, Everton are suddenly back in the mix for the European places.
It's insanely tight. I've just got it up here. So it's Everton. Yeah, I mean, you've got Everton on 47 with the game in hand, Liverpool on 49, Tottenham on 49, Chelsea in 5th, 51, and then West Ham with 52. I know you sort of alluded to that, but in terms of the amount of teams that we've written out of this conversation, including Liverpool, who said would never get top 4, Spurs were looking a million miles away from it. Just 1 week on, it's looking incredibly tight there. I don't think Everton will get it. I don't think they have anywhere near the consistency required for me to back them in even these kind of games, to be honest. Brighton are a far better side than their results and their league table position suggest, and also a very young side. So I might have even said this before, but I can see Brighton really pushing up the table, finishing sort of 10th, 11th next season when they get the players like Tariq Lamptey back, a bit older, a bit more experienced. They bring Jason Malumbi back on loan, very good player. Aaron Connolly already has a few Premier League goals to his name, very young player. They've got Basuma, I think is sort of only about 23. So the more they grow as a side, if they stick with this manager, who plays very, very good, attractive football, I think they're a better side than their table position suggests, and I think they'll get a draw here. I think that it will be 1-1, and I'm gonna go for. Saying all that, I'm gonna go for an Everton player, Calvert-Lewin, because it's safe.
So you're saying you don't think Everton have what it takes to win that kind of 5-way, 6-way shootout for the top 4?
There's too much consistency in and around them.
Leicester, West Ham, Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool, Everton. They're the 6 teams essentially vying for 3rd and 4th place. Mus, do you think Everton have what it takes? And secondly, do you think they have what it takes to beat Brighton?
I don't think they have what it takes to secure a European spot. I think I agree with Roz. They're far too inconsistent, and I think they probably won't have enough to beat this Brighton team, who are really good at home. So yeah, I actually have gone for a Brighton win.
Okay.
They've sprung a surprise on like a number of top sides. Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal, I think. So I think it'll be 2-1. I'm going to go for the mother of all surprise man of the match picks, Jacob Moder. Just kidding. No, I'm not going to go. I just wanted to get that joke in. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go for the Belgian legend, Trossard, newly an international player.
So, Mus, as you know the rules, I have to take your first answer. No, just kidding. I'll let you have Trossard because you said it was a joke. What do you reckon, Roz? Can you call it, Roz? Call it. You call it.
What is it? I'm 6-2 in the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let him have that.
Okay, Trossard. Hopefully you won't be eating your words next week on the EPLW Gameweek preview show. So 2-1 to Brighton. Trossard. I have gone for the mighty James Rodriguez. I think he's gonna James a great game. He was man of the match last week. He's back and he's finally got used to the Premier League.
Has he ever had 2 good games in a row for Everton?
I don't know. Has he ever had 2 good games in a row in his career?
Can I just say, it's an absolute... everyone remembers that goal for Colombia, right, in the World Cup. It was the goal of the tournament. It wasn't the goal of the tournament. The goal of the tournament was Timmy Cahill for Australia. But everyone always remembers that one for Colombia.
Well, actually,
the Tim Cahill one was with his left foot, better goal.
I personally, I don't remember the James goal. I remember the penalty where he had the big like grasshopper on his shoulder. Do you remember?
Yeah. And that's what got him that Real Madrid contract.
That little
actually.
grasshopper was sent over by Kia Joorabchian. He came over.
It's like something out of Mulan, like the dragon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Negotiate.
His motto should be Kia drives a hard bargain.
Oh, mate. The layers of that pun. Brilliant way to finish the show. Guys, thank you for joining me today. It's been a fantastic show. Looking forward to what the Premier League has to offer us this weekend. We've all made our predictions. Should we just quickly run down the predictions? Man City leads. Roz said 3-0. Mus said 1-2. I said 3-1. I'm going to say the scores, home team first, away team after. Roz, he said Foden. Mus said Rafinha. I said Jesus. Liverpool Villa. Roz 2-2 Salah. Mus 2-0 Salah. Joe 2-1 Jota. Palace Chelsea. Roz 0-2 Mount. Mus 1-1 Zaha. Joe 1-1 Mount. Burnley Newcastle. Roz 0-0 Tarkowski. Mus 1-0 Wood. Joe 2-0 Wood. West Ham Leicester. Roz 3-1 Lingard. Mus 2-2 Lingard. Joe 3-1 Lingard. Spurs Man United. Roz 2-2 Kane. Mus 2-0 Kane. Joe 1-1 Kane. Sheffield United Arsenal. Roz 1-2 Laka. Mus 1-0 McGoldrick. Joe 1-2 Laka. West Brom Southampton. Roz 1-0 Dianya. Mus 1-0 Dianya. Joe 2-1 Pereira. Brighton and Hove Albion against Everton. Roz 1-1 Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Mus 2-1 Trossard. Joe 1-2 James. Wow, I can't believe I got through all of that without making a mistake.
I love that. And also, how good does 0-2 Mount sound? And 0-1 Laka.
0-1 Laka. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cheers, guys. I shall bid you adieu for now, and I'll see you next time on EPL W. Ta-ta for now.
That's good. See you guys.
Yes. Bye, guys.